the reason I chose to study PPE firstly was because at school I quite like doing math, but I also quite like doing history and my essay-based subjects. So I felt like doing a subject which kind of combined everything that I was interested in would be a nice way to spend 3 years. And in hindsight, I think it was a really nice way of doing it because it meant that I could try out loads of different stuff and get involved in lots of different stuff as well, which has been good. The reason I chose Balliol in particular is because I heard it had a reputation for being quite relaxed, quite friendly, which has been completely true. It's been kind of a really nice 3 years because like the people I've met have been some of the best people ever, so it's been really good.
So I am a second year and I study PPE, which is politics, philosophy and economics. Though in your second year, when you do, I think every college has this, but in your second year you can select just 2 to focus on. Most people do that actually. It's quite rare to do 3, which they call tripartite. So in second year I'm now focusing just on economics and politics. I did it because I actually kind of much preferred economics before I came here, and having met all the politics tutors and I've just gotten so well with all of them, I've just actually found such more love for the politics side of it, which was quite surprising.
So I was applying for politics and philosophy at other universities, but wanted to go to Oxford because obviously it's got a good reputation, and also the PPE course here is much sort of nicer integrated to studying 3 different subjects at other universities, and so kind of that idea of studying it as like a whole was quite appealing to me, so that's why I applied for the course here.
The only conditions that they have is that they want you to have done maths at AS level, I think, which I would definitely say is useful because some of the economics does require you to be able to differentiate and integrate and just like being able to manipulate numbers around, but you definitely don't need to have studied like economics, politics or philosophy at all. So I didn't do any philosophy before coming here and really enjoyed it in my first year. Didn't carry it on for second year, but that was just more because I preferred the others. But yeah, I hadn't done anything related to it and was absolutely fine.
So there's not really such a thing as an average day. It very much depends on what I've got on that week. But then I guess a kind of classic week would entail doing 2 essays, which sounds like a lot of work, but then once you're in kind of the rhythm of doing work, it's not too bad. So I usually get up for my lectures, which are at 11, embarrassingly. But then after that, I tend to go to a library, set up in a library, and then do a day shift, and then don't usually work on weekends, which has been quite nice. So yeah, it's been not too bad.
A daily, like a standard day for me would be maybe at least 1 economics lecture, which is quite interesting because I definitely wouldn't understand the maths if I didn't go to lectures. So maybe like 1 lecture a day at least, and the politics ones are maybe just once a week, which are, yeah, they're probably just once a week. So at least 1 lecture for economics, and then so I tend to have maybe 2 or 3 class or tutorials a week. So what tutorials are is where it's like yourself, tutor, and maybe 1 or 2 other students. You come, it may be a tutor who you read your essay then and read it out then and discuss your essay, or it might be that you've handed your essay in before and they've marked it before and then they're asking you questions and like you enter into a discussion. I absolutely love tutorials because it's really interesting to hear other students' points, because even though you've done the exact same piece of reading, it's fascinating to be able to go in and like hear how like you've read the same thing and you've both taken away completely different ideas and points from it. It's definitely a massive learning curve, and it's great how we all work together and like use each other's like knowledge and notes. And then classes are a bit different. Classes for like maths in the economics side, they're a bit more like maybe 10 students than 1 tutor, and so it's just different setups. But yeah, I probably have maybe like 2 contact hours a day, which means it's quite nice to have some free time to be able to manage my study how I want.
So we have, for PPE, for most of the course you have tutorials 2 times a week, and then you have lectures throughout the week. So throughout first year I sort of had 9 till 12 lectures, then a few hours work in the afternoon or maybe tutorial or something, and then sort of be able to chill after dinner. And second year kind of carried on in a similar way. So
this year I have swum for the university, which has been great. It means I've got to make friends outside of college because I absolutely love Balliol, and I think that everyone here is great and you get to meet people across all the years, which is fantastic. But until this year I didn't really have that many outside of college friends, and swimming's definitely been amazing to just meet more people. So yeah, I've swum for the uni, which has maybe been like 7 sessions a week, which has been a nice way to keep fit and not think about work.
So lots of time lazing around on the quad, lots of time spent in the bar. I quite like going out, so that's quite fun. I was kind of worried at the start of first year that I wouldn't actually have time to do all the stuff that I quite enjoy doing. But then you figure out that like actually you can fit in so much in a day, and you can actually achieve quite a lot if you focus your time quite well. So that's been good.
In my spare time, so this last year I've been doing boxing for the university, but also throughout my course here I've been able to play a bit of college rugby, a bit of lacrosse for college, and also found time. I was on PPE Society at one point. So basically there's so many different things to get involved with, whether it's sports or societies or whatever. And then also in college you still find time to sort of go to the bar, play college sport with people. So just a mixture of all those things has been really good fun.
So I definitely thought that I'd have no time to do anything but work. In particular, I swam quite a lot before coming here, and I was very much under the impression that I had to choose between swimming or academia, and which was, I made the decision in year 12, thought, yeah, okay, like swimming's done for now, and to come here and to find that that was completely a myth and the opposite was just so lovely. I found that actually doing sport and doing these committee roles and having hobbies is actually so healthy for your work and much better for your work, because it just means that there are times when you can just get away from it sometimes, and times where you can just really focus and concentrate on other things, and it means that when I actually come back to my work I've had a rest, and it's just been a great way to meet other people. And yeah, it's definitely a myth that, and I was very, very happy to hear that it wasn't the case.
What I was most concerned about was the idea that no one would really be sociable and no one would be going out and everyone would sort of stay in their rooms and be doing work all the time. But actually when you come here you kind of realise how ridiculous that is, because sort of no matter what you're into or what you like doing, there's always going to be people like you applying and coming, because obviously you're one of the people doing that.
Don't be put off by the things that you hear in the media. I was, as somebody who came from the kind of background that not many people come to Oxford and universities like this, I was a bit hesitant to come here, to the extent that I considered going to a London university over coming here for a long time. But I'm so glad that I made the decision to come here. And I would recommend anybody who has hesitation to apply, because the worst that can happen is you don't get in. Always just make the application, I think.
I'd say to anyone that's unsure about applying to just go for it, because I think the interview process was kind of what dissuaded me to actually accept the offer that I ended up getting, because you get a real good taste of what Oxford is like, what the people are going to be like, and just what being here is sort of like. So I think the best thing to do if you are scared about applying is to just apply and see how the interviews go, and if you enjoy them then you'll probably enjoy Oxford.
I think what I would have really liked to know is about this work-life balance, and about meeting how easy it is to meet people both like in college but in other years, and also in other colleges. I think that's something I just really didn't know that much about. So I would, if someone thinking of applying, I would definitely say don't give up on your extracurriculars, don't give up on your sport. Like, definitely come and try and apply to as many societies that interest you, and also you can find like new hobbies and like new interests which you didn't think you had before coming here. And I think Balliol and just Oxford in general is like great for being able to find new stuff and being able to grow those interests.
People, definitely the people. Very good atmosphere, good vibe.
My favourite thing about Balliol has got to be the sort of atmosphere that it generates, and the real friendliness. If you walk into the JCR or the bar, there'll always be people there and people you can chat to, and so whenever you feel like you want to get a bit of space or talk to someone or whatever, there's always someone to talk to in Balliol, and that's a great atmosphere to have, and I think pretty unique.